Complete the statement by using the given property. If I want to use the commutative property, remember I have to move something. As long as something moves, let's put the 7 in the front, and we can still leave the 2 and the 5 grouped together. That way we have the commutative property where the 7 moved from the back to the front. The distributive property. Well, these properties can be read either way. So it looks like 4 has been distributed to 2 different terms. It was distributed to the x and also to a -2. The trichotomy. The trichotomy property says one of 3 things must be true. Either a number is less than another number, or that number is larger than another number, or those 2 numbers are equal. For the associative property, we have to do a regrouping. And it's very important that you don't mix properties, that you don't use the commutative property at the same time you're using the associative property. So I want to regroup this. I'm going to put the 4 on the outside, and I'll put the 2 with the x. If you notice now, all the multiplication dots have gone away, and that's because it's implied multiplication when you don't see anything. But if I didn't put a dot between the 4 and the 2, you'd probably read that as 42. For the inverse property of multiplication, it means that we want to multiply 2 things together so that we get back the number 1. To multiply to 3/4, we would use 4/3. The identity property says that you want to add and not change the value. So what can I add to 3 and still keep 3 would be 0. And the transitive property. This isn't one I've mentioned yet, but the transitive property says it transfers the information. If you note that x is larger than 3 and that 3 is larger than y, then it stands to reason that x has to be larger than y.